Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. Today we're going to take a look at my side and how it fared over the weekend. As you can see, I'm pretty much in Wimbledon mode though. They are taking a day off tonight, which is a bit disappointing, so I'll quickly after I do this, it's 11:45, a bit of a late one at work, but I'll be doing this and getting stuck into the Tour de France, I think. So my side didn't go too flash, as you can see, 2-1-9-3, and as you'll see in a moment, probably not a stack of absolute fails, but just a lot of premiums who scored probably 30 points less than what you'd expect. So that takes me out of the top 10,000 again. After I was in there for a fleeting moment, I am back out, and as I say, it's tougher to keep climbing once you get to around that 10,000 mark. You really have to have a bit of sustained good performance to really make your way into the top 5k, but I still should. I mean, my team looks alright. I mean, we'll have a look at it here. Just running through it. Doherty and Laird back to some good form. Well, I shouldn't say Doherty back to some good form. He's been in amazing form, really. And I mean, averaging 121, unbelievable scenes. I really did think that he was going to not struggle this year, but sort of fall back, get a bit more of attention, sort of average around 105 or something like that. He's really surprised me, and super glad that I brought him in when I did, because otherwise, look at his price, 650 odd, unbelievable. But Laird was back. Adams, bit of a lull, bit out of form, as a lot of Collingwood players are at the moment. Lloyd found a bit of the ball, went awfully by foot in the first half. Zach Tui, a bit of a quieter game, and Heath Shaw, 92. That seems to be where Heater's at the moment, just sort of your 80s, 90s. Seems to be lacking that big ton that he used to have. I mean, we all saw the 203 last year. He just seems to be lacking being that switch man, like getting those just cheap, easy, effective kicks. He's obviously not the main man out of the back line. And I mean, I haven't watched the Giants enough to exactly say who, because normally Zach Williams is, but maybe they share it around a bit more. Maybe he's just out of form a little bit, But it didn't help that the ball bounced over his head for a goal. If he had gathered that and palmed it off, he would have hit the ton. But Luke Ryan on the bench with the 91 was pretty good. Should be helpful if I do need to trade him or get some coin. Dangerfield again, 165, unbelievable. It was the Danger and Zorko show on Saturday night, that's for sure. Tommy Mitchell continuing to be a very, very good player, finding some good points all over the field. Dustin Martin was held, I think 19 touches in a night that most Tiger fans would wish to forget. Bontempelli, equally, a lot of Doggies fans would rather forget that night. Very poor against the Crows, and he was one of their better players. But the 97 points, I mean, you take it, you're not going to complain with 97, but again, we know he's capable of much more, as is Pendlebury, just a 93, as is Hanbury. He obviously had the cork last week. I just wonder if he's struggling with something a little bit. Treloar, 61. Treloar's probably, you could make a case for Treloar perhaps being the most underwhelming pick of the season, because he was so popular at the start of the season. Everyone talking about, he's going to overtake Pendlebury as the main man in the Collingwood side. Look at the way he finished off last year. This guy's going to be 110 plus. And I was all for it. I was part of making the noise. I didn't listen to the noise. I was part of it. I was extremely confident he was going to go big, and for whatever reason he hasn't. I know he's not the cleanest disposal of the ball at times, but gee, didn't see the game, but 61, I mean, he's obviously one of many pies who are just out of sorts. Witherden continues to be a very nice pick-up. He's going to rise up nicely in price, and I hope you all got him last week, prior to the week. Mountford, okay. Greenwood should come back. Steph Martin, wasn't that great. There weren't too many good lines, that's for sure. Martin got a bit of the ball, but most of it was pretty scrappy. Brodie Grundy didn't do too much. Bruce should surely come back in. Surely. Majak Daw looked all at sea. Goldstein, they sort of played in different positions and looked to give Daw a bit more ruck time. Surely Bruce is the man. McRae was very good in a tough night for the Dogs. Dalhouse probably sits in the Treloar bracket. I was so confident he would be an easy three-figure average, and I think I said it many times through the pre-season, you must lock Dalhouse. If there's one man you're going to lock, it is Luke Dalhouse. And look, he's averaged 95. He's been solid, but he really hasn't been what I had thought. So, surprising. But Nankervis, 81. When a side gets thumped, you probably take an 80 or a 90. Tom Lynch started really well. You know, the supply dried up after probably quarter time, really. Higgins was good. He was back. The beauty of a goal. And Heaney was pretty impressive. Hannon on the bench, 70 again. He's probably just averaging around that mark, staying around that price of recent times. So he's certainly peaked, and I'll probably look to offload him. But look, obviously, excuse me, not a great week. A lot of people had better weeks than me. That's evident in the rankings. But as you can see, there weren't too many bad scores. If you look at bad scores, you see Treloar and Steph Martin and Dalhouse. They're all guys you expect tons from. But other than that, you know, Adams underwhelming, Lloyd underwhelming, Tui underwhelming. Even Pendlebury, I mean, he should be a 110 bloke week in, week out. Hanbury underwhelming. Grundy underwhelming. Lynch, Nankervis, very underwhelming. But I was also had a few players who just, it's not always about how the team goes because Zorko dominated, but it does help if the team performs pretty well. When a team has a good win, generally more of their better players are playing well. And, you know, Collingwood were poor, Gold Coast were hammered, Richmond were hammered, you know, so just a few little bits and pieces like that. So, but it is what it is, as they say. I'm not too concerned. I mean, I feel like I've put together a reasonable side, and it didn't fire this week. It could fire next week. I mean, I think at this stage of the season, you've put together the most part of your side. I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at. You know, I've got the 300k in the bank, 6 trades, didn't trade last week. I think Elliot Yeo will be good to bring in a week or two, maybe even next week. Joel Selwood. I mean, I can see my team finalising quite comfortably, and some weeks you're just going to have your team not perform as well. It's out of your hands. I really don't stress too much if players underperform. I mean, it can be frustrating, but you can't lose your mind over it. To be honest, I don't really check the SuperCoach scores throughout the weekend. I really make a conscious effort. I used to be nuts about it. I should probably make a video in itself about how much I used to watch it quarter by quarter. I'm sure a lot of you guys do it, you know. Oh, where's the update? What's he on? You know, blah, blah, blah. Each quarter. I just found it drove me absolutely nuts. So I look at the stats a lot. Don't get me wrong. Their efficiency, their clangers and things like that. And if I watch the game, I've done SuperCoach long enough. You can pretty much predict their score within 10 points either way. You pretty much know that they, oh, look, you probably got 104. Oh, you got 99. You know, you can really pretty much know it if you know your footy and scoring system. But yeah, I certainly encourage people out there to not be absolutely on the scores all the time, because if you love it, it's going to annoy you if the scores aren't what you want, and inevitably it can wreck games. I used to have weekends or games where a player, it's a great game, but one of my players is going really bad, and it's annoying the shit out of me. So these days I probably check the scores once, maybe twice a week. This weekend I was really busy, didn't even check it. I checked my final score 20 minutes ago. So it's a pretty live sort of sesh, because I've just seen my score, and it's not great, but I think this side still has the capability to be a very good team next week and the week after. So hopefully a few guys can find some form, and a result of that will be a Shorty Superstars that is in good form. So haven't fallen too far off the pace. We're still knocking on the door of the top 10k. Slight step back, but I'm sure we'll be able to respond. So let me know how you guys went in the comments anyway. Hopefully you went reasonably well, and let me know if you have any crazy moments checking the scores where it's absolutely ruined your weekend or something, or you've checked the scores and you've thrown your phone through the wall or the window. That could give me a chuckle, but let me know anyway. Subscribe to the channel as well. Slowly making a little bit of progress. I think some people's SuperCoach interest has maybe dropped off when their teams start to struggle a bit in the second half of the season, but that's natural. Hopefully a few people are still enjoying these videos coming through, even though there's not as much to talk about in SuperCoach these days. But nonetheless, give the video a like, comment away, subscribe to the channel, and I'll chat to you guys soon.